Most anime characters are special. They either have superpowers, they save the world, or they just achieve their dreams through hard work and determination. But then there's Hasegawa. Hasegawa is a middle-aged man who basically gambles and drinks all of his problems away. He loses all of his jobs basically throughout the series, and on paper, he is more of a joke character. But the more I watch Gintama, the more I realize that Hasegawa, formerly known as Madao, is one of the more realist characters in anime. Because instead of like most characters, life isn't just like given to him, right? He never gets rich, he never like gains powers out of nowhere. Hasegawa fails and fails over and over again throughout the series. And yet, after failing over and over and over again, Hasegawa still keeps getting back up over and over again. So today, I'm gonna make the case that Hasegawa is the most human / realistic character ever made in anime history. Before the events of Gintama, Hasegawa actually had a stable career and a respectable life going for him. He worked as an immigration government official, helping Prince Hata, the alien you just saw on screen right there. So Hasegawa did have like a respectable kind of life, right? He was a good guy, like he was shown respect, he had his dignity, right? But then he meets the main protagonist of Gintama, known as Gintoki Sakata, and that's eventually when his life kind of just starts like falling apart basically. He eventually adapts the nickname Madao, which basically means a hopeless human being basically. So this dude went from a government official to a hopeless human being in the span of maybe a couple of episodes, right? And then after this dude becomes the hopeless human being, he is then treated as a joke for most of the series. And that's important, remember that. One of the many reasons Hasegawa's character feels so real is that his life actually reflects what failure actually looks like. I would argue that most anime portray failure as temporary. The hero loses, then he trains, and then he comes back stronger than ever, and then he wins. But Hasegawa's life isn't like that. He gets jobs, he loses them. He gets opportunities, he loses the opportunities. Hasegawa fails continuously, over and over again. And I think that's why he's so realistic, is that many adult viewers have failed. They have failed in their life over and over again. And that's why he is so relatable and realistic to the viewers. I truly believe that everyone has felt like a Madao in their lifetime, right? That feeling of kind of just being stuck where you are and there's no path forward for you to take. One of the most painful parts of his character is watching him realize that the world is moving while he isn't moving, if you get what I'm saying. Hasegawa's peers have a career, they have families, they have direction that they can go in. Realizing that Hasegawa doesn't have a direction, he doesn't have a family that he can just go to, you know what I'm saying, dude? I think most people believe that life has this like set schedule, right? You graduate, you get a job, all the shit after that, right? Life isn't that simple, and I believe the clearest character that represents that is definitely Hasegawa. Another reason Hasegawa feels so realistic is that he isn't trying to be the main character. Most anime characters, I would say, are larger than life, but Madao isn't. He's selfish sometimes, he's pathetic sometimes, he's messy sometimes, and I think that's why his character works. Real people aren't always inspirational. We make mistakes. Our lives can get hectic. And I think that's why Madao is so real, man. He's just so human. It's almost like a connective, like, brain thing going on. You know what I'm saying, dude? Where it's like Madao, to me, is just way more realistic than like any other anime character, because he actually represents the idea of an actual human being just trying to live his life. Madao isn't the idealized idea of humanity. He's just humanity, and I think that's why he works so well. But the most important thing about Madao is, despite all of the failure, all the recklessness, all the messiness, Madao never gives up. He never ever gives up. Every time life knocks him down, he somehow finds a way to keep on going. Even if he's embarrassed or like broke or whatever, man, he somehow finds a way to just get back up and keep going. And it's not like he has like some like grand dream to achieve. It's because Madao recognizes that tomorrow is another day. And I think that's truly inspiring. At the end of the day, Madao teaches us to live just day by day. Take things day by day. Maybe another day will be better for you. Who's to really know? I would argue that most motivational anime teach us to chase victory, but Madao definitely doesn't do that. He teaches us how to endure days, how to endure painful days, even when success isn't guaranteed. And I think that's something that most people can learn from his character. Now, I want you to think about your favorite anime heroes. They probably excel at something, right? Maybe they're chosen ones, maybe they're just really strong, maybe they're really smart, or maybe they're just prodigies from birth, right? Madao definitely isn't that, right? Madao actually, I would say, is below average in all of that, actually. Yet, somehow, Madao is more relatable than all these characters out here who are like trying to destroy planets. And I think that's because none of us are trying to destroy planets, you know what I'm saying, man? Even though those characters are cool, I really think that the most down-to-earth and realistic characters are much cooler. I believe it's easier to find a purpose in a character like Madao than it is to find a purpose in a character like Lelouch or something, because Madao is just so much more down to earth, right? You can see how Madao connects to you and yourself. What's incredible is that Gintama never asks you to pity Madao. The show constantly makes fun of him. The characters constantly call him a loser. But over time, after all the failures and jokes, I think it creates something, and that something is respect. You go from laughing at him to eventually rooting for him, and I think that's why his character writing is so beautiful. In conclusion, Madao isn't the strongest or smartest character in anime, but I think he does something much harder than most anime characters do. Instead of destroying the world and saving it, Madao simply just survives it.